Hello guys and welcome back to the SEA Games lower bracket match between our two Protoss players. This time, gonna be on Nightshade. And here on the top left, we are gonna have that green Protoss Kabankovich, aka Singapore's Blysk. And on the flip side here on the bottom right, we are gonna have that red Protoss Kun or Malaysia's Ranger. So potentially guys, match point here and now for Blysk, looking to have a date in the lower bracket finals will allow him to clinch at least bronze here in the SEA Games. Early we start things off with a pylon on both sides, gateway here and now a Ranger on the Rose. But the last time we've seen this guy at a 2-0 disadvantage, he was able to go for the reverse sweep. Can he do the same? Blysk has been absolutely on a tear all the way in from the lower bracket, but he will be facing a tough match later on against the two Zergs waiting on that podium, and their Miyamika facing off in that upper bracket final. An absolute classic. So very close, but no cigar there. Base race to end things off. Miyamika all the way in that lower bracket final, and that's gonna be a very difficult matchup honestly for either of these two players, because Mio having such an aggressive style of playing that Zerg. But anyway, you would say that as we were talking about before, Blysk might have that know-how to deal with the Zerg to begin with, especially someone as known to be aggressive as Miyamika Ranger can also try to play that macro game, play that micro game against him. But we've seen that matchup before and it didn't look too hot for Ranger. He was able to fend off some attacks, sure. He was able to use a lot of micro against Mio, but Miyamika still providing the tide that will not set. It is a tidal wave that is absolutely ginormous from that Vietnamese Zerg. So either way, it will be a difficult matchup for any of these players. But anyway, still 2-0, Blysk looking to make that dream happen, looking to make Singapore proud. And oh, Ranger putting this probe in the way. Interesting. He's trying to block the units of anything that Blysk is going to be doing with in the first place. In the meantime, oh, proxy Twilight cancel. So we were talking about this before, these pylons being hidden by some of our Protoss players. So the pylon into the Twilight cancel, this does mean the gateway units. Oh my god though, perfect. Perfectly done by Blysk. He sees Ranger go for that pylon, and here comes that probe, but it does get the stop point instead, gets in the way, and this potentially is a natural here and now from Blysk. In the meantime, Ranger doing the same, and oh my god, when in behind, go Dark Shrine, that is the saying, but when in doubt, when behind, go Dark Shrine. It doesn't even rhyme. When it's time, let's make it that. From now on, guys, that's the new rhyme. When it's time, go Dark Shrine. Honestly, when you are looking at a 2-0 advantage, you can go from the cheesiest antics in the Protoss arsenal. Blysk right now, completely even with his opponent. Sure, he's going to be a little later on that natural, but having this wow factor, the surprise factor, might work out in his favor. But oh, does Ranger know that this is coming? Because he does have that Observer in production. Will he be able to defend the base to begin with? And honestly, this might be Ranger trying to figure out what is Blysk doing. He is going to go for a later roving facility than normal. He went for that Nexus. But then if you look at what Blysk has, he could potentially pretend that or think that, oh, he might have gone for the next first before going for another production. Might be actually a little risky here. And already you can see Ranger go for the attack instead. He wants to go for the push. He wants to go for the aggression. He feels like he can be more confident in terms of that middle line snipe. But oh no, well done there by Blysk. Puts that pylon in the way yet again. Gonna go for the cancel here and now as soon as the depth gets sniped. But Ranger not giving up. He is gonna go for that forward pylon. Will look to go for warp cycles later on. But here comes the Dark Templar being warped on in. Where is it? That's gonna be the real question here and now. Where are these units? They are gonna be close. And oh, the Observer! Does the Observer see them coming? And here comes the Observer trying to race before anything happens. Beautiful force field there, and then from Ranger, Blysk will get exposed already. One of the DTs go down. And the cheesy antics here and now from Blysk, absolutely read by Ranger. What a good call. And into immediate Blink Stalker we go. Now this is going to be do or die here for Blysk. If his deck gets spotted, it might be a huge shutdown in favor of Ranger. In the meantime, Ranger staying ahead in terms of that worker and army count. He is going to go for a second observer, of course. 1 for his army and 2 for the show. But here comes the Warp Prism here and now from Blysk. And he's going to be sending this off into the outer wild. Still though, this Warp Prism can go for a quick reinforcement cycle or two. Pylon a little too busy here and now for Ranger. And will our Malaysian players see this coming? Seems like it's not the case as of yet. We see the Pylon right here, right now. And where is that Warp Prism? Finally gets spotted on the west hand side. Can Ranger react in time? Here we go though with the Dark Templar dropped into the fray. And in the meantime, a number of pylons. We do see Ranger going for that Adept drop this time with the Warp Prism, but the Stalkers and the Sentries will fend things off. Here we go, another set of Sentries here, and now forcing the DT to back on at Blysk, though, applying so much pressure against his opponents. And Ranger needs to be so on his toes to begin with. Oh, such a close scout. So close. Doesn't get the scout on. And honestly, if that was Ranger seeing those buildings on the top right, he would immediately send a hit squad or two to take care of that pylon, because he knows that the Twilight Council is producing something if he spots that out. But unfortunately, the Blink Stalker might be unmitigated in this scenario. Still though, we are going to see some action here and now from our red hand side. Looking for some drops. Good positioning here from Blysk, defending as well as he can. In the meantime, where is that Dark Templar? It is going to be onto that natural force field. Will prevent those probes from going down anytime soon. And honestly, such a good reaction here from Ranger. He probably expected it as well, since he has used the DT strategy in scenarios where, even in that 2-2 scenario, he went for the DT. He's comfortable at going for the DT, so he might be expecting, especially with a 2-0 advantage. Nothing to lose here for Blysk, a lot more to gain, and you can go for a quick match if it is unscouted. But right now, Ranger gonna be sacrificing those dips for absolutely nothing. In the meantime, oh, that's a lot of DTs here and now from Blysk, and he's gonna go for the Archon DTs. That's a big investment in both minerals and gas, but he is gonna try to make things work. So basically, transitioning into a more Stalker, Sentry, Archon composition. It is going to be the ground game here and now from our green Protoss. And honestly, this might not be something that Ranger is expecting. He does have that +1 though. Will the shields from the Archon be enough? 350 on those big boys. And here we go with more Stalkers yet again. But that upgrade tab, man. But the upgrade tab, Blink Stalker, as we said before, has been one of the best that Blysk can bring on out. And here we go with the Guard Shield. Blink forward to go for a sniper. 2 force fields right now from Ranger, looking for separation. But another big force field here from Blysk instead. Gonna be shades of game 1 in this scenario, splitting the army into 2. Ranger, in the meantime, going to be able to go for his own Archon, I believe. Here we go with Blysk, marching forward as much as possible. And this is a lot of army in the face of Ranger. Blysk, able to surprise, able to get that hit with that Blink Stalker. And right now, the probes are pulled. Will this be enough action on all of those aspects? Templar Archives there to get those Archons, sure. But the Warp Prism right now, sending in more reinforcements. And Blysk out for blood, looking for a medal, looking to make Singapore proud. Here we go with the Archon though in front yet again. And still in behind, we do see Blysk going for that nothing actually. It's Ranger going for that +2. Instead, it's going to be the Dark Templar warped in yet again. Will it be enough for the DT to go into that middle line? Floating Cannon fending that one up. In the meantime, still with that Blink Stalkers by the ramp, blinking forward onto that Stalker will go down. And a huge advantage here for Blysk. He's ahead in that worker count, sending in more and more reinforcements. Ranger doesn't want to give up, doesn't want to surrender. He knows if he calls it here and now, he is out of the running. Malaysia will not go battle here in StarCraft. Singapore looking to try and make it happen. Here comes the Stalkers yet again, blinking forward. Photon Cannon, extra DPS, but the Immortal gets sniped. That's a huge hit there, courtesy of Blysk. Ranger right now, just threading in the deep end. Dark Templar warping into an Archon. And by this point in time, Ranger is running out of options. You could say he's running out of time, he's running out of room, and this might be game over here and now for our Malaysian Protoss. It has been a worthwhile endeavor to be casting these games, guys, but Blysk right now will get that victory. GG is called. Congratulations here. Well played as well. And Blysk moves on to that lower bracket finals, and history tells us what happens there versus Miyamaika, getting that amazing upset, then faces off against Ender, and, unexpected for one, taking that silver. Absolutely, absolutely impressive. He has had a good year, but I feel like there are so many others who had a better one. But in the meantime, taking that silver medal by the tail end, a huge accomplishment, makes his country proud. But anyway, Blysk, you can really see the decision making, the big brain, man, the IQ on this guy, especially in this PvP. Understanding so many nuances, able to get that push, able to transition very, very well into those Archons. And what a match there. It seems like we are out of replays, guys, so the replay pack should be up on today. Have a happy new year, and thank you for supporting. Thank you for tuning on in. Please feel free to do whatever you guys want with the replays to learn, to get better into the coming one. StarCraft 2C is only getting started yet again. Still alive, barely breathing, sure, but with players like these, players who have been absolutely loyal, we'll see if it can actually hold against the test of time.